All right, so this is part 2 of the previous video on how you can make code work only on the live side or only during edit mode. If you haven't watched part 1 first, I would highly recommend doing that. That has some really helpful tips and just general reference information that you may find helpful for other projects. In that first video, we also saw an example of how you can stop code from working while you're actively editing the site. And in this one, we're going to see an example of how you can stop code from working while you're all together inside the backend of Squarespace. So when you have the side panel open or when you're actively editing the content. So without further ado, this is the second example. I have here a blog post, and you can see that I have the native title up here, but my client wants to have the title set up this way. They want to have a card image block with an image here on the side and the text showing up here, the same title of the post. They want to display it in here with maybe a little bit of a description just to make it more eye-catching. In this situation, if I were to simply hide this part of the blog post because I don't want to have the title showing up twice, then I could use something as simple as this little snippet. So this is just going to hide the blog item title. Let's refresh this just to make sure that the code applies. But that's basically just going to simply hide that field from site. It's not going to show up on the live site. It's not going to show up on edit mode. It's not going to show up at any point. So that's awesome. The problem is, what happens if now my client wants to change the name of the blog post? What if they need to update it? What if they want to change it to something else because it's better for SEO? They don't really have any other way of accessing the post title, the actual post title, the one that shows up here, the one that shows up here. So let's go ahead and use our trick to be able to display that title while we're in the backend so that the client can easily change it, but hide it on the live side for other users. Going back into my custom CSS window, again, knowing that the two classes we can use are SQS edit mode and SQS edit mode active, to make sure that my client is able to see where they can update the title, I want to make sure that while they're inside the backend, without having the edit mode active, they can still see that field. So that means that using the class of SQS edit mode would probably be better than using the previous one. Now, doing the same thing we did before, this selector, body, SQS edit mode, is going to help us target the body when the class of SQS edit mode is present. So anything we add in here, code or any other properties that we add, are only going to apply when that class is present. But like we already saw, what we want to do is the complete opposite. We want to apply the code, or we want to apply the modifications when that class is not present. We want to filter it out. We want to use it as an exclusion. So to be able to do that, we need to implement once more our not selector or our not pseudo-class. And now anything that we add within the brackets is only going to work if that class of SQS edit mode is not present on the body tag. So now if we grab our snippet and add it within our filter brackets, we're going to see how the native field shows up while we're working on the site. But then if we expand the backend, we're not gonna see it anymore. And if we click here on edit mode, we're still going to be able to see it, because remember that here the two classes apply, SQS edit mode and SQS edit mode active. So because we have SQS edit mode, the code is not applying, and therefore we are seeing the field. And if we go onto the live site and we go into that specific blog post over here, we can see how only the custom setup that we have with the card block is the thing that's showing up. All right, so that's it for example number 2. I really hope that you enjoyed this one as well and that you also found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up or leave me a comment down below to let me know. And if you want to see part 3, where we have an example that is going to do the complete opposite, we're going to have the code working only while we're in the backend, but not on the live site. So if you feel like that's something that could be helpful for your own projects, make sure to hop onto that video next. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you there.